damn good, and the daddy's doing a great job coaching too.
Yeah, that is for sure. In a little bit, we'll do our Peachland Dental golf picks, JC. I'm sure you've done a lot of research on that at Torrey Pines.
I don't
know. Better
know.
off just picking dudes instead of doing all your research.
Well, I don't know. The guy that does all the research is 2-0 on winners this year after the last two matches, golf tournaments. So you tell me.
Yeah, I don't know if we're having some technical difficulties, but we did not sleep in or anything, folks. We've been going. I don't know if it's up and running now or what, but JC's coming to us live from the Bahamas.
Well, we weren't up. I went through all that basketball review and nobody heard it.
No, I think we were, but I have no idea. People on YouTube here talking about, I guess they overslept. I guess they had an early tea time, blah, blah, blah. But no, we've been going to okay, Facebook was working, but YouTube was not. But we kicked it off as normal at 8 o'clock.
Sleeping in, yeah. I that hasn't happened since I was in college. I don't even know what sleeping in means. Somebody can define that for me if they'd like. I'd be all ears.
I don't think I have slept past 6 a.m. in the last 15 years.
Even when you travel on the road, on your long road trips to Baton Rouge, except for an 8 o'clock game, you get home at 4.
No, so JC,
yeah.
Speaking of that, we usually get back from those night games at like 2:30, 3 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
I sleep literally for 2 hours or 3 hours, and I'm wide awake, and I go play golf.
Well, I mean, that's energy for you, man. You still got it.
Yep.
You still got it.
MSRK said no early tee times in this weather, probably. No, we're by the way, it's going to be in the 30s or colder this weekend, and we have 9:30 a.m. tee time. So
better
battle the elements, folks. You got to battle the elements.
Well, okay, have fun, because I really don't have to. And I will be fighting against the winds down here in New Providence Island, but 30-mile-an-hour gusts, 40-mile-an-hour gusts. I'll have to hit the ball 50 yards offline to hopefully get it where I want it. I'll probably bring 24 balls and see what happens.
24?
Well, no. I mean, I brought a dozen for the trip. I'll probably lose at least half a dozen on Saturday with 40-mile-an-hour winds. But I'm going to hit a lot of 4 and 5 irons, so I'm just going to hit the ball low. So.
All right, Kevin on the Titan Mark text line says, will the Alabama player be eligible to play us this weekend, or can he only play in the state of Alabama? JC, it's your school. Tell us about it.
I could, my care level right now for their basketball team is probably riding at a season low after they lost at home to Tennessee. This whole thing with Bediako, I'm not very clear on. Chris Harry would be better to tell you about it. I don't really care. I
don't think anybody really knows, but I do think he's playing.
Okay, well, I mean, he'll probably play, but let's worry about tonight first. I mean, Florida's on the road. They're playing Carolina. Carolina's a better team at home than they are on the road, clearly. They're not a good team. They're a 500 type team. Florida should beat them. The spread is 10.5, as I said earlier. But Carolina played, their last game. They lost by 23 on the road. That's a team that if you can get ahead of them, I think will quit. Even if they're on their home floor, I think they'll quit. But 10.5 is a big number to cover. And Florida really didn't have its best game last time out. So I don't know if I want to lay the 10.5 tonight with the Gators. I think they'll win. The important thing for me is whether or not they're going to cover, because I get a little bit of satisfaction when the Gators win a basketball game, but I get a lot more satisfaction if I've got a couple dollars on it. And I think that's just where I am in life right now. But like I said, last night, if you missed it, since we just pulled up YouTube, Vandy 25-point win, largest over Kentucky since 2008. And they are 18-3, which is their best start through 21 games since 1973-74. Shane was 4 years old. And, that's a pretty good start for those Commodores under Mark Byington, who is such an upgrade from Jerry Stackhouse. It's unbelievable. They finally got somebody there that knows what they're doing. And then, of course, we also mentioned, if you missed it, Nebraska falls for the first time this year, but only a 3-point game to Michigan in Chrysler Arena. at Michigan. Halftime score was up to 98 points, and the total was 155.5, and the game was still under at 147. Tough.
So my question is, did you have the over, JC?
No, I didn't, but I saw a lot of guys that did. I didn't even really pay much attention to that game. I was watching the Vandy Kentucky game and loving what I was seeing from those Commodores. But I didn't. I just saw a bunch of guys just throwing their tickets up in the air. They do paper tickets down here in the Bahamas. There's not any mobile app that I'm aware of, at least not here in the Atlanta. So people were just throwing things left and throwing things right because they had the over in that game. And at 98 at halftime, you're feeling pretty good about 155. But it didn't happen. Did not happen. Did not happen for the patrons here at the Atlanta. Tough night at the Atlanta. I got my skull drug around the casino floor last night at the blackjack table. Not used to that. Got beat on the craps table. Doug was his mopey, miserable self last night because he couldn't hit a point. And so he moped around. And it's just not a good vibe on a Tuesday night, but I'm sure we'll bounce back. I'm sure we will.
Andy's question for you, JC, on the this is Facebook Live brought to you by Mellon. Do you think Ben Shelton will eventually be able to beat the top guys like Alcaraz, Sinner, and Djokovic on a regular basis?
Yeah, I think he's got to get quicker with his feet. Alcaraz is the fastest tennis player I've ever seen going lateral. And I right now, no. The answer is no. Now, will Alcaraz continue this as he goes? He might. He's 22 years old. He will catch Djokovic if he stays healthy. I have no doubt in my mind. Sinner's problem is that he sometimes has issues with health. And I think Shelton on a good day at some point could win in a 500 or 1,000 series tournament, like in Cincinnati or in Toronto or something like that, maybe out in California where they play that big tournament. But as far as the Grand Slam events on hard court, you have to bet on Alcaraz or Sinner. Those are the only two you can do. And Sinner will be fine if he holds up in the heat down in Australia. He could have lost very easily to an unseeded American player the last time they played, but then the roof was closed because of the heat advisory that was there. Gave Sinner 10 minutes to get out of the cramp store, and he came out fresh as a daisy and ended up winning, but he was on his way to getting beat. This was reminiscent of the time he beat Grigor Dimitrov when he was down 2 sets at Wimbledon and about to get swept, and all of a sudden Grigor's shoulder blew up on him, and Sinner went on to win that match, and then consequently, I think, took the entire tournament. But I think Sinner's lucky there. But Sinner's a fantastic player. It's him and Alcaraz's world right now. They're 1-2. Shelton will have a day where everything goes right against one of those guys and maybe win, but consistently there's no chance. Because he's just not fast enough with his feet. I just think Alcaraz is too much. He's too much.
Well, it's very similar. It's like Scotty Scheffler in golf. There's really good players on the tour, but some guys are just blessed and the best in the world, and that's kind of how it is in tennis right now as well. Gallo Car Wash is locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations are Northwest 13th Street, Wilson Road, and coming soon to Jonesville and the city of Alachua. I actually got my car washed at Gallo Car Wash yesterday, JC. We got a text here on the Titan Mar text line from Gator Josh, Wamama. He says the only thing colder than the temperature here in Florida is the fact that Bill Belichick did not make it as a first ballot Hall of Famer. What was that all about?
Yeah, I think there seems to be a blackball list on Bill. I don't know who, he probably pissed off a lot of people when he was in the NFL, but that doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, he's got more Super Bowls than Chuck Noll. I mean, he's got more than Tom Landry. He's up there with Bill Walsh. So I don't know. You tell me, QB. You're a football expert.
I really don't know. I don't know who all votes on that. I know it's a lot of sports writers. That makes absolutely no sense to me.
No.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
No.
Something else that doesn't make sense. James on the Titan of our text line wants to know, can y'all please explain to me how Shedeur Sanders is in the Pro Bowl? Well, I was not aware of this until a guy in my golf group texted me, raising hell, wanting to know how he got in over Trevor Lawrence or somebody. I was like, well, I think it's majority now fan votes. I don't know how the Pro Bowl works. I don't know why anybody cares. because it's a flag football game. JC, are you aware of how Shadur Sanders got into the damn Pro Bowl?
No, I knew he did, and Trevor Lawrence had such a good season, for Trevor Lawrence that he should have. So again, we have favoritism and a bunch of things that don't make sense when it comes to voting. It's like watching the Olympics and trying to stomach figure skating and realizing that the person who fell twice on her ass still won because she's Russian, or watching a boxing match and seeing an American just destroy some Cuban guy and they give it to Cuban. That's how I feel about voting. It's all about favoritism and agendas. It sometimes shouldn't be that obvious, but it seems to me that it's obvious. And really, I mean, what is the point of a voter if he's not going to tell you what he really thinks? If he's just going to tell you what he's being told to do, or if he has an agenda, why is he a voter? And that sometimes becomes a problem with the Heisman. It sometimes becomes a problem with a lot of things. But, the judge, the big joke out of the Olympics used to be the Russian judge got us again, or the Russian timekeeper on the basketball game. They have 3 seconds left and Russia's inbounding the ball under their own basket, and they take 10 seconds to get a shot off. But by God, it got inside of 3 and they made it. So, I mean, these are the just kind of stupid, wacky things that sometimes in these sports, in the sports world, I just shake my head and try to ignore. I can't take it seriously. I really can't.
Yeah, Dan says on Facebook, I brought to you by Mel Law, Trevor Lawrence declined the Pro Bowl. A lot of guys do decline it. Maybe that's how he got in, but I still think there would have been somebody that would have accepted it before him. Dan also says that the Bill Belichick deal revolves around Spygate and Deflategate, they say.
So, QB, do you think if you were betting on Alex Condon tonight, to score 9.5 points, would you go under or over?
Oh man, I don't know. Just see.
This guy's got to get better. He's just such a bricklayer right now.
I've said it 2 years ago. I didn't think he was that great of a basketball player. I don't see what everybody else sees, and it's not a knock on him. Not a knock on him at all.
He doesn't shoot the ball well. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
He turns it over a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the front court looks like for South Carolina. I have a feeling we're going to dominate down low. And he may have a game. I could see him scoring 12.
Okay. I hope you're right.
I just anytime the ball touches his hand, it scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, it just seems like the defense collapses all over him, and he will pull the fire alarm, bro. He's got a chance to get better. Starts tonight. The Gators need a convincing win tonight.
I don't know. I mean, he's been the same player for 3 years to me.
Yeah, he probably won't. Nothing's going to change, is what you're saying. I get it.
Right, but he has the potential because of his height, getting a lot of putbacks on missed shots.
Yeah.
I could see him scoring 10 to 12 tonight.
Okay. All right. Let's hope for the best.
All right. This day in sports, which is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, where proud member Stephen Orr Spurrier banks. This day in 2024, the NFC Championship game at Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, California. The Niners beat the Detroit Lions 34-31 to advance to the NFL.
There you go.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I watched that. That was a heartbreaking game. I know exactly. I remember exactly where I was at a Detroit Lions fan's house, and her dog also bit my son as he came in the house on the hand. It wasn't serious, but he needed stitches. It was a bad night for everybody that night. QB, New England, 4.5 point underdogs. You like those points in a week from now?
I don't. I like the Seahawks.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you there. I think most of the people do. I don't see that number getting to 6 though, but I do think the handle's going to show an overwhelming side on Seattle right now.
What does handle mean? You use all these terms that nobody knows.
Well, a handle means the amount of money on a bet, on a side. So if you have, say, 80% of the handle, but only 40% of the number of bets, when you look at the betting splits, that means you've got what they call sharp money on that side of the bet, because there's fewer bets, but there's a hell of a lot more money on that side. So handle is the amount of money or the percentage of dollars bet on a side. So Seattle is overwhelming right now with the public. And typically you see these things on DraftKings or Circus Sports. You can pull up what they call the betting splits. And that's where you can get an idea at least of where the money is flowing. And you can decide to either follow or go against it as a contrarian. But right now the line is 4.5. It could go as high as 6. I don't see that happening. It opened, I think, at 3.5. So a full point already on Seattle. And we're not even, we're outside of 7 days still. We still got 10 or so days. So I guess it's easy to say that Seattle is your favorite. But, man, I'm wearing this Patriots hat because it's the only one I wore. And I really want to throw it out after the absolute burial I had, that happened to me last night on the casino floor. So I may go with a different strategy tonight. Get rid of this lousy Patriots hat. I got to wear it though because my hair's everywhere right now. I'll probably go buy an Atlantis hat or something like that. Maybe a Ocean Course hat for the golf tournament I'm about to play in starting tomorrow. Doug and the rest of them are going to go practice today, and I'm going to go down to the straw market and buy a bunch of crap so I can put in my closet when I get home. And we're going to go have fun.
Sounds great.
We're going to go hang out with the tourists who come in on the Royal Caribbeans today and the Carnival ship. That's exactly what
sounds great.
You would love it, man. You're so jealous. I'll tell you what, QB, I'll send pictures of us at the straw market and I'll buy you a New Providence Island hat with a Bahamian flag on it and bring it home.
You know good well I don't wear hats.
No, I know a flag. I meant a Bahamian flag. And I'll wear it. You can wear the T-shirt on the show and represent our friends here in the Bahamas.
Save your money, JC. Give it to somebody that needs it there. Gator Ray says, not sure if either of you have seen the YouTube documentary promo put out by Florida Gators football a few days ago for Coach Summerall. Thought it was well done. The more I watch this coach, the more I like about him. He has great energy and confidence about him. I've not seen it, but I like him a lot as well. All right, JC, it's time for the Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's number one choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas.
Winners.
Go check them out at peachlanddental.com for the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Kicking off.
I'm going to see
this week.
I'm going to see him today or tomorrow. Big Joe Lawson from Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, I should say. All right, Farmers Insurance Open. We're at Torrey Pines. It's just outside of San Diego, California, just up to the north on I-5. And it's a public course. You, too, can play at Torrey Pines. They have a north and a south course. I think the south course is the preferred course. I think that's the one they play. Actually, they play them both, but I think the south course is the more challenging course. Before we start, Kanya Ron, 3792, wants to know what my average monthly income is from gameplay. I don't keep up with that, Kanya Ron, but let's just say $1 million. How's that? All right, so
that's a lie.
That's a very big lie. Oh, QB, you had to tell everybody that was a lie, really? You had to tell them that?
Well, I think everybody knew that.
All right, so I'm going to start since I am the 2-week straight winner. Not just beating you, but I picked the actual winner 2 in a row, and I'm going to do it again. And we're going to start with Xander Schauffele, who is from the area and is very comfortable playing in San Diego. I think he's going to come out and blast that course. He knows it like the back of his hand. Give me the X-Man.
All right, I'll take J.J. Spawn.
Good pick. Great player. Unbelievable year last year. Unbelievable. And really played well at the Ryder Cup. About the only guy that did. I'm going to take another Southern Californian from the other side of the world. And when I say he's a Southern California, I think he played at San Diego State or somewhere down there. And that would be Sahith Theegala, who had a very good tournament just last week, struck the ball very well. So I'm going to take Theegala to just hopefully be a top 5, top 10 kind of guy. I don't think he'll win, but I think he'll be a top 10 guy.
I think he's a Pepperdine kid.
Okay, Pepperdine. Yeah, you're right. That is Pepperdine. Yeah.
Give me Jason Day.
Oh, that was going to be my next pick. Darn it, you took him. He was in second last week because of the tsunami that went through there named Scheffler, but Day had a great tournament. All right, I'm going to take a wild card, just a shot in the dark here with our newest member of the PGA Tour who has returned like the prodigal son, and that would be, you know who it is, Brooks Koepka, getting out there and mixing it up with the guys. and getting his game back. So let me have Brooks. You can get a good number on him for a top 10 finish, I think, on Hard Rock.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
I know.
Go ahead and give me Nikolai Hogard.
Yeah. Okay. One of the twins. Okay. Nikolai. And
yeah,
I got
one more pick.
All right. Give me Jake Knapp. Hits it a mile. Love the guy. Jake Knapp.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a kid who's flying under the radar but played really well the last couple of weeks. Ryan Gerard.
Yep, I've seen him, and he is a fine player. Very good around the greens. Okay, well, there you go. Thigala, Knapp, Koepka,
recap them.
Yeah, Thigala, Knapp, Koepka, and X-Man for me. JJ, Spawn, Jason Day, Nikolai Højgaard, and Ryan Gerard for the QB. And I think
that's the first time I've ever taken a Korean.
A Korean? Well, you don't have a Korean QB.
I think that's the first time I've never picked a Korean.
Oh, never picked one. Okay, yeah. Well, you went with the Swede, or maybe he's Danish.
I tell you who's been playing good. It's Siwoo Kim has been playing really good golf.
Siwoo has, he really has. This guy has resuscitated his career. Should have won a tournament almost won a tournament last year, but he's back. Our former TPC champion. So, yeah, he's back, and golf is back. It's great. And in March, I think it's in March or sometime at the end of next month, they'll be coming to Florida and getting ready for the swing over here. But lots of golf still to play. Scheffler won't play again until I think Phoenix, which is the Waste Management. And I want to say that's either next week or the week after. So, and then they play in LA at Riviera. And then I think they go up the coast to Pebble Beach for the AT&T Pro-Am, and then I think it's time to come east. I think that's what we have. I'm not looking at it, but I think that's what we have. So again, tonight, Gators 10.5-point favorites at South Carolina. They're going to win this game. The question is, can they win it by 10.5? That's what I'm looking at right
now. John on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel also. What are my thoughts on Joe Brady getting the Buffalo job?
I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do like Joe Brady. I'll be anxious to see if he still calls the plays, though, which I think he should.
Why wouldn't he?
Well, people say it's too much on your plate to be the head coach and the play caller.
Well, we know a guy here at Gainesville that differently.
Let's go. I mean, if you look at the National Football League, Sean McVay does it. Kyle Shanahan does it.
LaFleur.
LaFleur does it. Andy Reid does it.
Ben Johnson. Does Ben Johnson do it?
Yes, he does it. And so actually Mike McDonald does it. He may have a defensive coordinator, but he runs the defense.
And your new Steelers coach, Mike McCarthy's going to do it.
What do you think about that hire?
He's a local guy. He's a hometown guy, but I'm not as big a fan of it as maybe some of the Pittsburgh folks are who like him. I don't think he was very good at all in Dallas. In fact, I think he was below average. And I think the only reason he won a Super Bowl is because of the guy he had playing quarterback. But having said that, he still won a Super Bowl. So you can't take that away from him. But he's not he wouldn't have been my first pick, but I understand the pick because Pittsburgh likes they are about familiarity, and he's a hometown kid. So we'll see how he does. Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if he's going to stay there one more year or not, or if he's done. But with Mike McCarthy there, maybe he feels good about staying one more year. I'm not sure. But I am surprised by that selection, but maybe not so much since it's at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh was the only place that would have looked at him or did look at him.
Kanye Ron on YouTube brought to you by Quad Phone. So speaking of golf, U.S. women's golf team won their first tournament of the new year. Yeah, they got a good little team.
They do.
So congratulations to them.
Emily does a great job.
The boys team is loaded this year.
Oh my God, are they loaded? And everybody's name is on that team. They have three of them. What's wrong with me? The kid that hit the ball on 17 and drove the green, hits it farther than anybody I've ever seen at that level. Anyway, I'll remember.
Bell.
What's his name? What'd you say?
Parker Bell, probably.
Parker, yeah. We got three Parker. That's it. Thank you. We've got three Parkers on the men's golf team. And Parker Bell hits it as far as anyone. Thank you, Kanye Ron. Parker.
They all hit it a mile.
Yeah, they're tremendous. They are so good for that crap-ass course they have to play on and practice at. But, you know what? God bless JC and that team. And, yeah, golly, they're some of my favorite Gators on campus right now, especially after that you took me to Gator Golf Day. I had such a good time. I will be a big fan as they go through their season, and I hope to get to the Gator Invitational in February. So,
all right, JC, have fun this weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
See you Monday, guys.
That's JC. Join us on the Titan Number Highline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Quick timeout. Come back. We'll be joined by Rob Browne from SEC Sidelines. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Linderos Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Comfort Temp, Florida Cracker Oyster, Electronics World, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Advocare, MG&A Wealth. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, call my man Freddie, 352-284-3733.
Naysayers. Setbacks. Injuries. Life throws a lot of hurdles your way. The key is just keep jumping them.
On April 7th, 2025, Gator Nation reached the mountaintop as Florida won the national championship in basketball. Now, relive every thrilling moment with Franz Beard's new book, The Golden Season, the unforgettable story behind Florida's historic 2025 title run. Feel the passion, the drama, and the glory all over again. Available now at Spurriers.com. Click the shop tab. That's Spurriers.com.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Miapa Latin Cafe. We love Gator basketball so much. Everyone at the O-Dome gets a free empanada when the opposing team misses 2 consecutive free throws in the second half. So check them out. It's Miapa Latin Cafe. We're waiting on Rob Browne from SEC Sidelines to join our program. In the meantime, we got a text here on the Titan MR text line from William. He says, Shane, when do the Gators play golf in Gainesville so we can come watch? They play the Gator Invitational. I don't have the date in front of me. Usually maybe the second or third week of February. We'll get Coach Deacon on that week or the week before. But their team is loaded this year. I think we have Rob Browne now. Do we have him, Zach? Good morning, Rob. How you doing, my man? Do we have him? Kanye Rod says the golf tournament is February 14th. Yeah, I knew it was like the second or third week. So I think Oklahoma State, I think they're the defending national champs. They will be there. So we'll get that feel. We'll get some more information about that to y'all. We got Rob yet?
Ready to go.
Hey, Rob, how you doing, man? Appreciate you joining the program.
Doing great.
Yeah. How's the weather, man? You still iced in?
Yeah, I think we got 7 or 8 inches of snow here. We're right outside of Memphis at the farm, and the roads, there's just nowhere for it to go. It goes down to 8 or 10 degrees at night, and we get these every year. We get 2 of them, 2 or 3 good snow and ices, believe it or not. But you got 4-wheel drive, you're good. If you don't, you're stranded and you're a shut-in, and you're homebound for a while. But I've got to actually drive my wife to work after the show. But man, we also got a lot of captive audience. There's a lot of people wanting to hear what's going on in college football, and you know, your show is one of the best, and I love coming on here anytime, and got to get you back on here the next week if you can do it.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Rob, let's talk basketball real quick. SEC basketball. You cover Auburn quite a bit. I mean, you cover the whole SEC, but that was a big win for the Auburn Tigers. How were they able to come into the O'Connell Center and beat the Gators?
Well, they hadn't won down there in 30 years, and Florida's just better than Auburn. I mean, last year, if you look at the matchups in the regular season, when Florida came up and beat Auburn, was like number one, I think, Saturday afternoon, just dominated the game. Beat Auburn probably worse than anybody had all year. And then got to them again in the Final Four. It was just a bad matchup because Florida had so much height, and they have depth with their height. Bruce Pearl, he's out. Stephen Pearl, he's only played for his dad and he's only coached for his dad. But yeah, that's the biggest Auburn victory period in a long time, because the Gators really are, you know, look, they're the only school in the country that's won 3 national championships in football and 3 national championships in basketball. Nobody else has done that. And we talk about Kentucky is this traditional basketball school. I mean, since 1996, I think it is, or 7, the last 30 years, they've won 1 national championship, 2012. Florida's won them in 06, 07, and in 25. So, but the perception is it's all Kentucky. It's really all Florida. So that was a huge win for Auburn. I think they're still celebrating at Toomer's Corner.
I want to get your thoughts. We had somebody, the Gators play South Carolina tonight, then we play Alabama at home. The whole Bediako issue, you know, playing 3 years in the G League or whatever it was, now back in college basketball. We aren't 100% sure. Is he eligible to play in Gainesville against the Gators? And just your whole thought process on these guys going pro and then coming back to play college ball.
Well, I know the judge's wife. She's a friend of mine from Tuscaloosa. Great attorney. I've met Judge Roberts. He was named Judge of the Year in the state of Alabama. And I talked to them about that last week. And we had a federal attorney who used to work in Tuscaloosa come on the show and expand on it. And what I found out was that ruling, there's a computerized algorithm that just spits it out and says, to this particular judge, this is what I've been told. Okay, now trust but verify, Reagan to Gorbachev, that it just randomly came to him, and we all know that he's an Alabama fan. He went to the University of South Florida, went to law school at Cumberland there in Birmingham at Sanford over on Lakeshore Drive, but he made that ruling, which I think I totally disagree with. And right now it's sort of day to day. What's funny is they bring a guy back from the pros and still get beat in an SEC basketball game. So Nate Oates is, the comment that was made 3 years ago after the tragic murder of the 23-year-old lady there in Tuscaloosa, Brandon Miller, should we play him or not? Wrong place, wrong time. It's a bad look, but I think it's day to day, and we're actually going to find out tomorrow more on that. But the judge that made the ruling, he's a season ticket holder in Alabama and all. I think it's awful. I mean, once you leave the nest, you can't come back. I got that speech from my parents. Nothing makes parents more angry than their kids to go away and then move back in. It'll destroy a relationship real fast. Bringing the guy back from the G League, the NBA, whatever, it's horrible. But it's a sign of the times, Shane. We got a feckless, spineless NCAA. And that's why I still say Florida 1990 was SEC champions. Your first year, it's a gutless organization. And as long as there's no leadership, this kind of crap will continue.
Yeah. So do you think this could maneuver into, like, let's say football? Let's say, a couple of kids, whether they get drafted or undrafted, they stick on, the practice squad, which, they're just practicing. They're not playing. They may play in some preseason games. Do you think we're going to see some football players coming back to school that have eligibility?
I think they're going to try, because everything's on the table now. Because if they can do it with a basketball guy, remember baseball, remember Chris Winkie was 29, I think, when he won the Heisman at Florida State from St. Paul, Minnesota. But he came back from baseball. A lot of guys play baseball 5 or 6 years and come back to college and play football because they were getting paid in college maybe to play in the Cape Cod Summer League or whatever, and they come back and play a different sport. Well, these guys that have gone to the NFL don't make it, go to training camp, don't make it, and have eligibility. I'll guarantee you someone's going to try. They're going to go get an attorney like Tom Mars out of Little Rock, who's representing Trinidad Chambliss in the Ole Miss case. Tom Mars is the guy that went against the NCAA and October 15th of 2018 made the transfer portal the law of the land. He's an attorney in Little Rock, and I would love to get him on the show. And if I can get him, I'd certainly help you get him if you wanted to. But I don't know if he'll do interviews, but I guarantee you someone's going to try it. It is coming.
Yeah, because I guarantee you the only reason Bediako wanted to come back was because of the amount of money these kids are making in college athletics now, because it's the same way with you're stuck on the practice squad. You're going to make more money if you come back to play college ball than you are on the practice squad. So it's a mess. Where does the Trinidad Chambliss situation sit right now?
We talked with Yancey Porter, Rebel Yell Hotline, yesterday on the show. Yancey, very connected at Ole Miss, really well. He says that they'll probably file an injunction if the NCAA keeps being a roadblock. And they're going to say, hey, look at TJ Finley, now on his 7th school in 7 years, out of Opelousas, played at LSU, Auburn. Honk if you played football with this guy. He's now at Incarnate Word in San Antonio, which is where Cam Ward threw for about 6,000-something yards before he went to Washington State. But they've got an attorney, Tom Mars, is representing Trinidad Chambliss. And I wouldn't be surprised if they file multiple injunctions or whatever and get this kid on the field. He's really only played 2.5 years of college football. That's what the truth is on that. And there's a double standard of hypocrisy. I mean, I'm in Memphis. I'm an Auburn grad, you know that, but hell, I love Ole Miss. I've been to so many. Your parents both went to school there. You're from Cleveland in the Delta. This past season is the biggest season in my lifetime for Ole Miss, and they've got a collective there with 15,000 members. Walker Jones, former linebacker at Ole Miss in 95 and 96. Mm-hmm. He's famous along with my friend Brock Kreitz. They were playing when they ran down Hines Ward at midfield in that win at Georgia when they only had 46 players on scholarship. But I see Trinidad winning, and I see him being back on the field at Ole Miss next year. Tom Mars never loses against the NCAA.
Interesting. And Michael on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, why can't the Alabama administration just do the right thing and tell the coach no? How hard is it to just be an adult and do the right thing? Not in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I'm just going to plead the fifth on that one.
Yeah. My
oldest daughter went to Alabama. She's still a good person, but still, that's just not going to happen. They're not going to do that.
Yeah. Rob, I know we got signing day coming up, but pretty much most rosters are kind of set right now after the transfer portal. People are being added here and there. When you look at the SEC, who do you think did the best job, adding to their roster or building their roster?
Man, LSU did really well. Mm-hmm. I think Auburn did well, but when On3 did this graph, and it shows guys you brought into the portal, but then it also accounts for the guys that left you. Okay, so LSU probably did as well as anybody. Just in Arkansas, man, Ryan Silverfield, he's going to win some games at Arkansas that you don't think, because he's from Jacksonville, went to the bowl school. He's only 44. Guy's been coaching football since he was 18. They brought in, I think, high school and portal over 70. He brought in 72 last year at Memphis. in the portal in high school. But put it this way, Shane, you know this. If you can't work the portal and you're not embracing it, you're going to be like Dabo. I mean, Dabo is just like Niedermeyer in Animal House at the end of the movie when chaos is ensuing in the parade, and it's kind of like, nothing to see here, please move along. It's all happening around him. And I'm a huge Dabo Swinney fan just because of his story, walking on at Alabama and taking, his mom going through the divorce and moving in with him and what all he did. He's been great. But if he doesn't change, he's going to go the way of the ivory-billed woodpecker and the dodo bird. And that's kind of, I hate to see that happen, but you got to adapt. I mean, if you think about when you were at Florida, I remember that like it was yesterday. And the great quote, you told me this, and Buddy Martin fell down, told me this. Someone asked Steve Spurrier at a Gator Club meeting before the 1990 season who his starting quarterback would be. He said, I don't know yet, but I know one thing. He's going to lead the SEC in passing. Well, if you didn't adapt to the faster pace, the passing, and the new offenses, you got left behind, or you retired from coaching shortly thereafter. I think the portal, it's here. I hate it because it's so hard to develop a team. And people don't realize, this as a player, and 14 years in the NFL, which is 3 times the average career of an NFL player. Lack of continuity. You bring in a coach out of nowhere who calls plays in a bowl game like Ryan Day tried to do against Miami. He hadn't done it in 5 or 6 years. It's a completely different ball game. And I mean, that's just where we are. And I think John Summerall, that was my number one target. I wanted to be Auburn's coach. And Auburn just botched that when it's called Java, just Auburn being Auburn. And now he's at Florida. I think Florida got the best coach. I'm not saying that just because I'm on this show. I love Summerall because my friend John Hartwell's known him since high school. We all know people from Huntsville I went to school with from Grissom. Summerall is exactly what he's going to be the most impactful coach at Florida, probably since Steve Spurrier in the sense of what Florida needs at that time, because Florida had been in the late 80s through some misery. We all know that. Hell, I'm an Auburn fan. I can tell you a lot about being on probation. It sucks. But you bring in a coach like Steve Spurrier in 1990, and as you remember, that Auburn comes in there at number 2. They were the luckiest team in America, and it was like musical chairs. They couldn't find a chair and got beat 48-7. You better improvise, adapt, and overcome. And that's, I just think Summerall, he's embracing the Florida culture, which is not South Beach, Naples, Palm Beach. It is small towns in Florida and the big towns too. But the Gator fan base is as Southern as the Ole Miss or the Auburn fan base. And
I agree. Castaway Hot Sauce Company, from Mile to Wild. They have a flavor for every Gator fan, available at your local Publix, CastawaySauceCompany.com. A few more minutes with Rob Browne from SEC Sidelines. Florida Boy on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says it's wild how programs are contractually obligated to pay large buyouts to coaches, but players can just walk away from contracts. Let's talk about that a little bit, because I know Princewell U has re-signed with Ole Miss. I want to say LSU paid Ole Miss X amount of dollars to buy him out, and then gave him a new contract there. Is that how it's going to work moving forward, Rob?
I think so. We had Ralph Russo, the senior writer for The Athletic, college football, on yesterday, and he broke the story. I didn't really breaking. He just let us know during yesterday's broadcast that the Darian Mensah, the quarterback at Duke, who was at Tulane with Summerall, went to Duke, had a 2-year NIL deal, walked out. And we all know he's probably going to end up at Miami. They reached some sort of a settlement. Dane, you've had contracts. I've had contracts in business. You've had them in sports and business. I've had them just in business. Their 5-year deal, if you got paid up front and you left after 1 year, you owed 80% of the money within 60 business days. Read the fine print. It's not negotiable. And these kids want to be treated like adults, like pros. They need to be treated like adults, like pros. And these contracts need to have teeth in them. But I think what you'll do, last year Arkansas had the brother, Madden Iamaliava of Nico Iamaliava. I pronounced it right. I get $5 in a bag of crystals. Dang. But he walked out on him, Shane, on a $400,000 NIL deal and didn't play a snap of football. And Arkansas went after him. I think 4 players followed Kiffin from Ole Miss to LSU. And, you know, I'll tell you how big NIL is at Ole Miss. I read the text from a guy from California who's not even an Ole Miss grad, been going to games there for 20 years. A friend of mine in the investment business, that's one of his big clients. The guy has become an Ole Miss fanatic, flies in on his Challenger with his wife and kids to the games. I read a text from him after the Egg Bowl. He was so excited. He goes, "Am I nuts? I just gave the Grove Collective, another $5 million." Well, how are you going to stop a guy like that? My friend told me, he said, "Bobby, that's nothing. That's $30 million in the last 2.5 years he's given them." And I said, $5 million is a lot of money. He said, he made over $250 million last year. Mark Cuban, you know, he's on the sidelines at the Notre Dame loss last year in South Bend. He's talking to Kurt Signetti, who is a Nick Saban clone, and says, "What do you need?" He goes, "I need money for NIL." He goes, "You'll have a check Monday. I need your wiring instructions." That's everybody, you know, all it takes is one Mark Cuban or one Tim Cook at Auburn. Or they've already got the Yellowwood guy. I don't like Yellowwood like I used to because he forced Auburn to hire Hugh Freeze, but that's another story.
Rob, great stuff as
You know
always.
what I mean?
Let everybody, I do. Let everybody know how they can listen to your program.
Hey, thank you so much, man. And Shane, if you can come on in the next week, let me know. But we're on every morning, Monday through Friday. Buddy Martin's son, Brendan Martin's our executive producer. You can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, SEC Sidelines Sports Network. And like I said, I feel like I've got 16 kids because we cover all 16 schools. Of course, we got 8 shows on the channel. Buddy Martin Show, Lowdown with Lauren Meadows, Best Fridays in Football with Urban Meyer. So blessed to be on here. Got the best team of people in the world. Shane, I'm a big believer in the Pat Sullivan Heisman speech. It's not about any one individual. It's about the team. And we love covering the SEC, and we do it 5 days a week. It never feels like work, but I'll come on anytime and look forward to having you on in the next week.
Absolutely. Appreciate your time, my man. And we'll talk to you soon, Rob.
Always. Okay. Bye-bye.
That's Rob Browne. Rob Browne from SEC Sidelines. Join us on the Titan More Hotline courtesy of Comfort Temp. Silverback Concrete builds firm foundations for generations. You stand on it. We stand by it. Thanks again to JC and Rob. I hope everybody enjoyed the program. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. We'll recap the basketball game tomorrow. Take care.